Hello and welcome everybody here to another night at the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. Hoping to have some really good games for you moving forward. Our first of the evening, I suppose, is going to be between Citizens and Team Nevermore. For your casting entertainment, it will be me, Sir Waltham, on the mic, along with Shy Guy. Shy Guy, say hello to the people.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm insanely excited for what we have in store for everybody watching. This is going to be an absolutely phenomenal game, and to help us get prepared for it and to get ready for all the action, we've actually got a member of one of the teams or one of the staff members coming in for an interview.
Yeah, that is very true. We have Vol Nilo, as I believe it was pronounced, coming in, the VOD recorder for Team Citizens. Vol, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic, actually. Should be a good, strong game between both teams.
There you go. Looking forward to hearing it. Now, a lot of times we have coaches, we have captains, we have actual players, but I think you might be the first one, at least within my memory, the first VOD recorder we've had. What does that usually entail for your team?
I'm one of the behind-the-scenes guys. I'm the one that makes sure that that they have video to study that they can improve on, because coaches don't have anything to go over if you don't get video.
Very cool. So a little bit of the production side, I imagine, going through on your end. But how'd you get into coordination with Citizens to be on their team?
About a year ago, I was actually managing and assistant managing a couple teams, and then so I was in some of the manager networks, and then Citizens said that they were looking for a scout initially. And that was more my side of things when I was managing anyways. And then through that, I became scout, then VOD recorder, as that kind of was the thing that we needed.
Okay, certainly makes a lot of sense. The connections always there, as somebody who kind of works within the fringes of the community, not actually playing the game, but helping in auxiliary ways. I can definitely relate to that. I don't know if that's something that a lot of people are really conscious of, the whole recording scrims and practices for teams to go over, but how would you recommend, if that does interest somebody, they kind of get into it and kind of introduce themselves to that world?
Yeah, first thing, just make sure that you have a PC capable of recording, at least 60 FPS while they're there, because you want to have good footage to go over. It sucks when you have good camera angles and everything like that, but you can't see anything because you're on 30 FPS and 360p video.
Right. I can imagine it can get pretty tense sometimes.
Yeah.
On your end, and this is going to be one of the last questions, if you don't mind me asking, your SR, is it pretty in line with the team, or in your position, is there a little bit more wiggle room as far as, you can...
Absolutely not. I am 100% plat chat.
Cheers here. Well, you are sitting at the plat chat table when you're sitting with Waltham, so don't even worry about it, my friend.
And it just goes to show, everyone out there who is, worried in their plat games, they can't, join a very good team. They're never going to make it as an Overwatch pro. There is still obviously places for everyone to find their niche in, the esports scene. And, just because you can't click heads the best doesn't mean you don't have a spot.
100%.
Absolutely could not have said it better myself. But while we're on the topic of clicking heads, I think we are about ready. I see the teams lining up into the lobby, getting ready to hop onto Hanamura. But Vol, thank you very much for hopping in here, answering a few questions with us, and just hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Best of luck to your team out there, my friend.
Thank you.
Now, Shy Guy, we do have that the first map we in our rotation is going to be onto Hanamura. What are your first impressions here?
My first impressions is that I haven't really seen this map in a while. It has been, in my experience, at least, Assault in general has been kind of banned out of this tournament for the most part. If we're not playing it on our first map, most teams are not choosing to take us there in the future. So, they've got to adapt when it's map 1. So I'm interested to see what these teams can break out here.
Yeah, I think that we talk a lot about the different types of compositions that can be played. Bunker, of course, being one of those kind of emerging compositions that's very popular. The sim teleport to point strategy, also very valid at times. Even things like DPS heavy comps, all very valid. Not sure what we're going to be seeing out of these teams quite yet. I haven't done my proper due diligence when it comes to casting and looked up the teams, watched any reviews or anything like that, but I do know that they're both highly mechanically and game sensically skilled, so I'm definitely expecting some high play no matter what we're going to see on the field.
And so far in this tournament, at least, these teams really haven't had to go kind of outside of the comfort zone of the 3-3 compositions for the most part. They've both had fairly easy, I don't want to say easy, but pretty easy runs to this point in the tournament right now, both winning 2 3-0s. In the last round, I think combined, they gave up 1 point to their opponents. So we're dealing with 2 Titans here who haven't, I would say, really been pushed so far in this event, and I'm excited to see them go head-to-head.
Yeah, I definitely am as well. Citizen's going to be one of our highest SR-rated teams here. That does not certainly mean that it's going to be an easy path for them. It's going to be followed up closely by Nevermore. There's a little bit of a difference there, but not too much that I would think that one team's going to blow out the other.
No, I think we are definitely in for some closer and closer series as this tournament progresses, and this is where we really start to get into the good stuff in my mind, and we're going to have Citizens coming out on the defense to start things off. They'll be locking in their picks in just a few seconds. And we've got some interesting choices that I'm not 100% convinced are real just yet. Give them a few seconds to sort it out. I don't know exactly what we're going to see because they're still in spawn. Nothing is real until they leave spawn.
Yeah, we're being a little hesitant. We don't want to get debated here, but it looks like the rollout's going to be for that triple with the Winston instead of the Rhine.
That makes sense. You see that a lot on Hanamura specifically. It's kind of a thing of preference. This is one of the few maps where I would say it's very even in terms of that particular matchup. Usually one of those 2 main tanks kind of has a firm advantage, but Vanguard taking up the Symmetra right now might just be for a scouting teleport, but no, they look like they're just going to go straight to point with this if they can set it up and choke.
Yeah, that will certainly be the question here, but the fight is going to engage. Going to be seeing Salieri try to touch the point or try to touch the choke. Not really going to be happening as the team teleports. The attacking team, Nevermore, going to be teleporting right onto point. You're going to already be getting a tick, and this is furious. We are going to need to see some swing back coming in from Citizens. Does not seem to be happening. There is a little bit of contest going on from the Winston as well as the Zarya. However, the point is still going to be pretty even in terms of man advantage. Ankro going to be brought down by their equivalent in Essel. That means the kills are starting to go in favor of the attackers. Nevermore almost having this point captured. It's not hard to imagine that they will end up taking this, but the Primal Rage is going to come out from Salieri, hopefully bringing some stabilization to the point for the defensive team here. Salieri eventually going to be dropping, and with that, it looks like the fight and point will eventually go over to Nevermore.
Yeah, if he wanted to turn that one around with the Primal Rage, there had to be some environmental kills in the mix there. He couldn't quite make it happen up against the charging Jusai. So now, Nevermore in a very comfortable position with almost 7 minutes to roll into point B. They're approaching some big ultimates on their side, so they've got a chance to make this a very quick attack.
Now we're going to be seeing the Sim Proton Shield dropped halfway down the point diagonally. Sound Barrier also going to be coming out. There is quite a few ults to work for on Nevermore here. Sound Barrier as well as that Proton Shield we mentioned earlier. Kills haven't really started to flow either way for the team. Ankro going to be popping that rally just to keep the teams up and covered in armor. Salieri going to be getting a little more damage behind his swings with that nano boost. Going to be taking out Essel because of it. And with that, it looks like the defense will finally go in favor of the Citizens. They're going to push back Nevermore.
And Rack Attack there coming up big on the Ana for the side of Citizens. Hits a big biotic grenade. The kills don't come immediately, but it gives him so much ult charge. Able to throw that nano boost onto Salieri for the cleanup to stave off that first attempt from Nevermore, who now have to kind of settle in here. They will be coming back with a grab as well as the Earth Shatter. So some tools to make plays happen if their tanks can come up big.
Yeah, certainly going to have to be watching out for that. They will be attempting to take the high ground. The grab going to be out from YR War, and a big slam coming out from Juice Ice, going to be getting 3 down. Salieri getting brought dangerously low, sectioned off from the rest of the team, does get focused down by the tanks. of the side of Nevermore. The grab going to be coming out this time from default, however, will not be able to be capitalized upon too aggressively. And now we will start to see Citizen or Nevermore's flow onto the point. They're going to be getting that first tick, but the Hammond is going to come out for stall Salieri, trying to just buy some time. Vanguard going to be taken out of mech. That might be crucial in helping to flip things just a little bit. But the Lucio sound barrier is also going to be keeping things in favor of Nevermore. And now trades are going back and forth, but of course we have that respawn advantage to worry about. Camboyo taking out YR War, going to be very good in getting things going in favor of the defense, and it looks like things will be going their favor. They're going to hold it.
Nevermore start things off really well using those two big crowd control ultimates, Graviton Surge from Rory, Juice Ice throwing down the Earth Shatter, and it nets them one tick here, but they just can't quite close it out. They can't eliminate the last few members of Citizens who are stalling things out on the point. They regroup, get to 6v6, and just a few kills is all it takes for the defense to stabilize.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the case. We're once again trying to see this high ground take. Salieri trying to get very aggressive onto that choke. It looks like Nevermore's just going to end up dropping down to the main and rotating directly on the point in that fashion. We see the rally come out from Ankro. A big slam, only going to be hitting Salieri. Rory going to be taking the grab right onto the middle of the point with the combo onto the bomb from Vanguard. Going to be taking two. That's looking like it's going to start tipping things in favor of Nevermore. There is only a D.Va and Lucio left to defend right now. D.Va going to be getting D-mexed. The Hammond going to be coming out right onto point just to buy a little bit of time, but Salieri probably not going to be able to buy too much. The point progress will now start ticking up for the side of Nevermore, and it will just be stagger coming out from Citizens.
Oh, the Bastions in the Immortality field, they do take it down, and Ankro will fall. It doesn't look like Citizens are really able to make anything out of this. Salieri still buying time. They've got 4 members on the point with the Doomfist coming back. This is their opportunity to make something out of this defense.
Yeah, right now they are just working on trimming off some time. There is only going to be the Lucio and the Baptiste, both trying their hardest to stay alive, stay on the point so they don't give up any more progress than they absolutely have to. But Ankro going to be dropping on that Tracer. That will be the death knell, and we're going to be seeing the full point capture going through for Nevermore.
And this time, Nevermore is able to do what they could not before. Yes, they get the opening picks with the Earth Shatter and the grab, but this time they are able to sustain through the ensuing fight, make sure that they keep killing the respawns from the defense, and eventually kind of whittle them down to the point that they are able to cap point B with a very healthy time bank. 3:02 still on the clock. Not the fastest time you'll ever see by any means, but still very, very solid showing from Nevermore.
Yeah, Citizen's going to be having to set a pretty decent pace if they want to keep up with that. You're going to have to be keeping an eye out for what they're gonna be trying to run on the offense here, as that's really where it's going to matter.
Yeah, both of these teams looking very comfortable in the standard 3-3 matchup. And despite the Symmetra shenanigans from Nevermore, I have a feeling we might be just seeing the exact same mirror this time, but no, Vanguard breaking out the May.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick, to say the least, coming out here. The May very good at walling off that choke. Look forward to seeing it. However, there's a little bit more mobility on the side of Citizens, at least at the start. Salieri on that Hammond. I like seeing it. I like seeing the Wrecking Ball come out every once in a while. That's a personal favorite.
They're going to break out the double sniper comp here on Hanamura A. This is a very interesting look, and one that might have a little bit of difficulty. They are going 4 DPS now, which I think is the better call than what they were showing before. They're just going to try to overwhelm and deal with Nevermore from all angles, make their lives difficult.
Yeah, will be a little bit of scouting coming out from Purple as well as Salieri, I'm sure, just to kind of make sure that they want to commit to this. Swaps are going to be coming through. Rack Attack going to be popping onto the Pharah. The Maywall going to be coming in, but there will not be a whole lot to stop it with the long range. Default going to be getting a kill onto Luckbox that is taking a large amount of support. And Purple, just building up point progress, actually manages to get the first tick. There has not been a huge response from Nevermore to contest that. Default, meanwhile, just taking heads, taking body shots to some absolutely grisly effects. Salieri as well going to be putting the hurt down and claiming point, and in a much faster time than I believe we saw from Nevermore, it's going to be Citizens taking the point.
They do it just a little bit faster. Now we'll be moving into something a little more standard as we go into point B. Wholesale swaps coming out from the Citizens. makes sense. Quad DPS not going to have the same level of success with the defensive spawn advantage, and Nevermore again opting into the mirror. So now we really, bunker down for the long haul. Things start to get a little bit harder for Citizens here.
Yeah, no ults to be going into this one quite yet. The tank's just brawling it out right here. It's going to be a little bit of a drawback from Citizens, as a lot of their members are getting low. Camboyo getting dangerously low as well. And things are looking pretty good for Nevermore. They are regrouping, taking this opportunity to heal themselves up as well, but it will be Citizens just rotating onto point, just trying to get that early progress. The swing's coming out big from Juice Ice, gonna have that Earth Shatter online. Gotta see if they use it. It doesn't look like it. In fact, it looks like so far the defense coming through solidly for Nevermore. They're gonna be holding.
Juice Ice does end up throwing out the Shatter, gets absolutely nothing for it, as he was booped up in the air a little bit and everybody escaped around the corner. He would probably like to have that one back, but a good first fight there for Nevermore on point B. They build up to the rally so quickly while they're fighting in that stairwell. The choke point is so defensive favored. They get the rally up, they use that to win the fight.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, we are going to be seeing the continued high ground push. We're going to see if the rotation once again comes through from Citizens. But Rack Attack taking out Tony. That's a very good opening. And 3 getting shattered by Salieri. Going to be going very low, down to 3 HP. Now it's time for Default's grab to come out. It will be Salieri going for the pin into the grab, not grabbing anything, but there are still kills coming through for Citizens. Either way, they are going to be taking some progress. They get the first tick. We're looking to see if this contest is going to be coming out from Nevermore. We do have the Diva Bomb coming out from Vanguard. Not going to be enough, though. That's going to be Citizens taking the first point in a rather quick fashion.
Oh, that is a disaster for Nevermore there. You had so many members in different places around the map waiting to get onto the point. Luckbox was in the area. Vanguard was there at the very end, and just none of them actually set foot on the point to trigger the overtime to stop the progress from accruing. And that is an incredibly quick take coming out from Citizens, and they really didn't even have to take a proper fight for it. They got the opening pick onto the Zenyatta Tony, and without the Transcendence there, Nevermore couldn't sustain. They had to fall back, and they just gave up too much room.
Yeah, the Diva was actually going to contest, but Ankro on that Brig, if I remember right, actually got the shield bash, preventing the Diva from moving on to point. It's pretty crucial there.
Yeah, it's very well played by Citizens, and they come out with a nice lead here after our first round of attacks. This time they should be a little bit better prepared for what Nevermore are set to bring to the table. With Vanguard back on the Symmetra, they should at the very least know what's coming this time.
Yeah, certainly. And I'm thinking this might be an instance where we see tons of rounds here at Hanamura.
That is definitely a possibility. These assault maps can go on forever at times, but Nevermore making the same approach here, waiting to set up the teleporter, but Tony gets slept, so they're going to have to wait on their Zenyatta.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait for that sleep dart to wear off. Vanguard, however, getting shot at a little bit by Rack Attack. It does receive a Discord Orb for their troubles. They're actually not going to be taking advantage of for this time around. Maybe not off of cooldown. They're going to be rushing in through the right side. A fat anti-nade coming through from Rack Attack. That gets 4 on the side of Nevermore. However, not going to be punished too hard for it. Vanguard getting brought dangerously low. The dive not quite coming in so focused from the side of Citizens. And now the rotation will come through from Nevermore, going to be trying to take the front. Vanguard getting once again antied, brought down very low, going to be cleaned up by Camboyo because of it. And now we're starting to see a little bit more of a solid, decisive hold coming through from the Citizens. Tony receiving the anti-nade, and that's going to be cleanup.
Rack Attack on the Ana here is a great pick here against the Diva-less Symmetra composition. Vanguard already forced to give it up. They need that defense matrix to stop these Bionades from just tearing them apart.
Yeah, and the switch coming out, we will see if it has a different effect, but right now the positioning just coming out from Nevermore. Vanguard actually getting slept, going to be woken up in short order though, not punished too aggressively for it. Another 3 getting hit by the anti-nade. The Diva Bomb going to follow up, not locking onto anything. Tony has that Transcendence, might be looking to use it this push. Vanguard getting going into the sleep once again. The grab going to be coming out from default. The trance in response from Tony. The hammer down coming from Juice Ice does not seem to land, got booped at the very last moment. Now the kills are looking pretty easy, but the respawn pretty even, but the respawn coming in for the side of Nevermore might give them a slight advantage, but as I say that, Citizen's going to be cleaning up before the respawns even start to matter.
Yeah, and I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again, Rack Attack, absolutely massive. The first biotic grenade forces out the sound barrier on the side of Nevermore, and they can't really get any value out of that ultimate. The second biotic grenade secures a kill onto Isol through the Transcendence. So he basically baits out and negates 2 support ultimates with 2 biotic grenades in that fight. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, going to be very large. Rack Attack, however, getting picked first this time around. Tony going to be dealing a little bit of body shot damage, meaning that Salieri will drop in quick order without that healing coming through from the Ana. Now should be the opening for Nevermore to really take point. Essel going to be taking out Ankro. That means a lot of healing is out of the way for the defensive side. It looks like they're just trying to stall out right now. Camboyo trying to skate around on point, but it's not going to work out too well.
This is a kind of a brief moment of opportunity for Nevermore. They could make something out of this point B attack despite the very small amount of time they're going to be working with. Just about 30 seconds to move into the second point and make some progress, but they've got the ultimates to do it and no support ults on the side of Citizens.
Yeah, very true. Something to look forward to. We also have a couple of tank ults coming online. It will be Purple staying on point as kind of the stalwart defender here. Has that Diva Bomb ready to go. The sleep going on to Juice Ice. That is taking out a lot of defense. However, it doesn't look like they're going to take advantage to drop the Diva Bomb on the side of the defense. They will do it in combo with the grab, however. The pin going out onto Juice Ice with the anti-nade. However, the Diva Bomb will be comboed with an Earth Shatter. Going to be taking down Salieri, but not seeming to be quite enough yet for the attacking team. Overtime is going to be ticking down. There is nobody to get on point, and that's going to be it. It's going to be a full hold coming through from Citizens.
Absolutely, and they are going to be incredibly happy with that, considering the amount of time that they've got to work with for their second attack round. They've put themselves in an excellent spot to take map 1, take the lead in this series, and take control.
Yeah, they have pretty much set their win condition. Just get 1 tick onto the, I guess it'd be 4th point, 2nd point, however you want to count it. Just get 1 point, 1 tick onto that point within the 5 minutes 18, 5 minutes 48 that they have. It's definitely going to be achievable for them.
Certainly, especially if they can come out with an point A attack like they did the last time. If you can save 3 or 4 minutes of that 4-point B, then you are in an excellent position to win Hanamura. But Nevermore are going to have a little something to say about it. This time, again, we might see something very similar to last time, where the quad DPS definitely caught them off guard, definitely got them out of their comfort zone. This time, they probably know it's coming. They've made some changes. No more Mei. They've got the Winston for the main tank and Tony on the Ana. So they've adapted here. Can they make something out of this defense?
We certainly will have to see. Imagine Purple once again going to be doing a little bit of scouting with Salieri. We'll just have to see as the doors are going to be opening. It will be Camboyo actually end up switching to the Mercy. As we see the Sombra kind of line up here at the choke, doing a little bit of reconnaissance, actually not just going to be scouting. And we're going to be seeing Salieri drop right onto point, immediately makes the Diva have to go chase him. Vanguard going to be distracted a little bit while that happens. Meanwhile, we do still also see Purple getting the hack onto Vanguard. The double team coming through from those two is very valuable. It's going to be giving a big opening to Citizens here. And we do see the Pharmacy coming through. Camboyo as well as Rack Attack doing a little bit of raining down with those rockets. Not really going to be finding too many openings though. Ana getting brought down low. Tony going to be cleaned up by default. You'd love to see that follow up from a Widow. It will just be the Winston and Lucio on point for the time being, as well as the Zarya almost missed that one. And not a lot of ults coming through. Ankro going to be having that pulse mine. It's going to be hitting, not quite landing. Rory going to be taken down by Purple. Purple doing an absolute killer job on this Sombra right now.
And they're probably gonna hold on to the Sombra pick. They're gonna hold on to the Pharah. They want to come in here, use these DPS ultimates in one fight. It can very easily be enough to get you the 1 tick you need, especially with the EMP and the barrage on deck. Keep an eye on Purple and what he does with this Sombra ult.
Yeah, absolutely. Salieri also going to be having these mines up soon. Going to be dashing right onto point in traditional Hammond fashion, as we've seen. Default absolutely claiming heads right out of the gate. getting 2 kills. That is going to be crucial. These ults are coming through, killing everybody, and because of that, we're going to see Citizens take the point.
Yeah, well, the EMP honestly probably didn't even matter too much when the default just starts clicking heads, gets a double kill to open things up there and make that a pretty easy cleanup for Citizens, as their attack rounds were dominant here on Hanamura, and their defense, you know, adapted and made the necessary changes to secure the first map win.
Yeah, well done from this team right now. Going to be taking it back to the lobby as we discuss what's going to be happening with our map and hero bans. Of course, while we have this brief downtime, I'd like to remind you folks that if anybody stuck out in your mind for these games, don't forget to vote for them in the Twitch MVP. Hopefully we have a lot more action coming through, so you might not want to cast that vote too soon.
No, we're still a long way from deciding this series, and you should probably be a long way from figuring out who the MVP is going to be. There are a lot of good options there if we're just talking about that one map. In my mind, though, Rack Attack, his Sombra was his Ana was such a huge part of that second defense for Citizens, coming up time and again to really delay Nevermore out, make sure that they had almost no time to work with on point B. Really gave them a great chance to win that map, and they capitalized brilliantly the second time around with that DPS combo.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you start talking about the way that the triple is often played. We're seeing Citizens kind of prefer Rack Attack on that Ana as opposed to something like a Zenyatta, and when it works, it massively works. I don't think that there's a part of Rack Attack's kit on Ana that we're not seeing be used to pretty decent effect. The Sleep Darts landed pretty consistently. The anti-nades felt like they were hitting tons of people. So really, it's interesting to see that Citizens prefer that, but seeing Rack Attack's proficiency, I definitely don't blame them.
Well, it's one of those things where if you know that your opponents are ever not going to run D.Va, then it's going to be an excellent pick at that point with no real way to deny the value from those biotic grenades. But even when Nevermore made the swap over to D.Va, even when Vanguard got off the Symmetra and went back to the defense matrix to try and, you know, limit Rack Attack's effectiveness, he was still coming up huge for them and making the plays. So really well done by everyone on the side of Citizens to give themselves the lead here. Looks like we are headed to Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood going to be our next map picked, and on the converse, Junkertown going to be banned, meaning we won't see the pivotal pirate ship map. Kind of a relief. I believe I saw it once or twice yesterday, so a little bit nice to take a little bit of a break from it. Curious as to why the decision was to ban Junkertown from Citizens. Maybe they're just not feeling it.
Certainly, they might have some. Or actually, no, never mind. That was not them. They've played well on Junkertown so far. I don't know. It's a map that a lot of people don't really like because, like you said, it brings out the pirate ship. A lot of people see that as cheesy and don't want to deal with it. They would rather opt into kind of what they're a little more comfortable with. So we're going to be going over to Hollywood, which is much more standard. But you know, we talked about the map bans, but we also, of course, have our hero bans, and Mercy is not going to be on the field for Hollywood.
Yeah, meaning that there won't be a lot of reses. That typically tends to lower the potential for snipers to come out. Widow, Hanzo can be very empowered through that Mercy damage boost, as well as the res at such long distances. So a little bit surprising that we're not going to be seeing it here. I wouldn't think that she's as crucial a pick in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I think it might be coming from Nevermore saying, hey, we kind of just got rolled by the DPS comps coming out from Citizens. They liked to run that wrecking ball for DPS, and the Mercy is by far the healer of choice when you want to run that style. So that I really think is a pretty effective pick if you know it's not something that your team wants to do. It really limits what the attackers can pull out.
Yeah, very much so. Also going to be seeing a Torb come out default, hopping right onto the Swedish engineer, ready to roll with it. And we're now going to be seeing the comp come through from the side of Nevermore.
So this is basically the Clockwork Vendetta composition with the Mei, the Torbjorn, the kind of bunker setup, and this is going to be really interesting to see how Nevermore react to it. But Juice Ice gets hooked out.
Yeah, it's going to be an early kill on a Juice Ice, meaning that the attacker is going to be chased back to spawn for the time being. Citizens could be doing a decent hold.
For sure, but now Nevermore know what is on the other side. They might be going back to make some changes. Juice Ice over to the Winston. They're going to kind of a divey setup here with Isol. Oh, no. Briefly teased us with the Genji, going back over to the Brig immediately.
Yeah, Rory going to be choosing this Sombra, might be doing a little bit of poking around, looking for some weaknesses here. Ankro going to be taking out Tony in the meantime, though. Once again, that is going to be Nevermore losing a man before the fight even really commences too heavily. And that's costly.
Yeah, it definitely is. And they're just losing time and time again after only, 2 kills so far. We're already down to about 2.5 minutes for Nevermore to work with. They've got to make a clean approach here eventually so they can engage a fight.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing the dive come in. Juice Ice hopping up onto the high ground, really go against Salieri. Rack Attack getting hacked and then torn down by Rory. And the dive keeps coming in onto the top ground, going to be taking down the Torbjorn and his turret. Estel taking down Salieri, meaning that there will not be a lot of defensive capabilities here. Citizen's going to be losing mass numbers of members onto the point. It will just be Aincro as well as Camboyo. Camboyo falling in very short order. That mage is going to be used to stall as much time off the clock as possible.
Certainly, and Nevermore make a good adaptation there. They play patiently. They wait for Rory to get in position, gets the hack onto Rack Attack, who then obviously can't save himself with a biotic grenade or a sleep dart, so goes down to the Sombra in the back. And without that healing, the rest of Citizens comp kind of falls apart. But now they're at so many ultimates that they're at least going to play it out for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be the case. Rory going to be looking to set up this EMP. The supercharger coming out from the side of Salieri. EMP actually not going to be finding anything from Rory. Interesting call for the EMP there. A lot of ults coming out. The Coalescence, as well as the Molten Core and Transcendence. And we're going to be seeing the Primal now pop from Juice Ice, who's getting brought pretty low in spite of it. However, will be healed up, bullying that Roadhog played by Purple, who's going to be popping that Whole Hog in response. Will not have any self-sustain to keep them up. Will be brought down from Vanguard because of it. And right now, it's just a brutal knockdown fest right now. Ankro still going to be trying to buy some time on the point with that Mei, freezing Vanguard in their spot, but doesn't look like they will be able to hold.
No, and now the swap should be coming in for Citizens. I can't imagine they stick on this comp for a lot longer. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. This is a very interesting call. They're very confident in what they're running right now because, Nevermore did have to use a lot in that last fight to pull off, to get this payload moving again. So maybe they're banking on a bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it certainly can't blame them. Sombra looking to scout out. Once again, the Diva Bomb coming in. The Maywall going to be saving, however. Default popping that Molten Core, the Nacho Cheese, if you like. Juice Ice going to be brought dangerously low, and this time the EMP is going to find much purchase, going to be hitting 5 members, everybody but Camboyo does not have the Transcendence up to save the team. Just short, meaning that the rest of the team going to be burned down. Aincro going to be spacing out the cart a little bit with that Blizzard. And with this, it will buy them a little bit of time. The Moy are going to be separated because of that turret. However, Aincro still doing a brutal job just getting a little bit of stall. The Supercharger going to be coming out from the Orisa played by Salieri. Default going to be taken down as well. Might buy a little bit of pressure for the attacking team, but it doesn't look like it's going to go in their favor either way.
Wow, the retake there from Citizens. Coming back in at the last second with Salieri's, bongos to give everybody a little bit more punch to their attacks, and Purple unleashes the Whole Hog in the middle of it. Really well played by Citizens to drag that fight out long enough for their reinforcements to come back in and make something out of that. And this is starting to look like a pretty decent defense out of them.
Yeah, in fact, we are going to be seeing the high ground now be taken by Nevermore. The hack almost going to be attempted, not going to be quite landing, however. It will be Essel as well as Tony separated, but the rest of the team will drop down. Once again, the Mei Blizzard going to be dropping, not going to be catching anybody, it seems. will just be providing a bit of relief to the rest of the team surrounded. However, numbers are now starting to fall from Citizens with the loss of Purple and Rack Attack. The EMP coming out, taking out Salieri and Default from using their abilities. Iron Crow, however, going to be able to stall for a little bit longer, not long enough.
Yeah, there we go. That's what Nevermore needed to do. Finally, the ultimates had all been expended on the other side. Just Ankro had that Blizzard, and he puts it in a bit of an awkward spot. So now Citizens making the swaps back to the more standard look, where we're back into the 3-3 for them at least, and it looks like Nevermore gonna be going back to make those changes themselves.
Yeah, Nevermore deciding that the Ryan Zarya a little bit more favorable for them here. We will see them posted up onto cart. Default going to be taking the lead on this one for the time being. Salieri going to be lining up to contest with Juice Ice. The stun coming out as well as the nano boost, the Diva Bomb in response from Vanguard, not going to be finding anybody. However, Salieri not finding too many kills except for the kill onto Juice Ice, who will be taken down with a mighty hammer swing. Essel being brought dangerously low, going to be taken down by Onkro. And now we're going to be seeing Citizens get aggressive, going to be pushing Nevermore back to spawn.
That was a very good stabilizing fight for Citizens there. They only have to commit the nano boost to let Salieri push forward, but no. Oh, and Crow gets caught out away from the rest of his team and puts them at a 6v5 disadvantage.
Yeah, Tony getting a massive pick there. Absolutely what they needed. The Earth Shatter coming down, taking down Juice Ice and Rory. The Transcendence going to come out from Tony. Not going to be enough to save Rory. However, the beat will come out from Camboyo in response. Going to be keeping a lot of the team up. Now we're seeing the grab come online from Default. Rory still not going to be having any grab to respond or to go counter against. And the Purple with the chase down onto the opposing Diva played by Vanguard. They're going to demech and I imagine just leave the Diva for stall.
Certainly, and now Vanguard probably just going to go back, swap, give up a little bit of ult charge, and come back into the fight with a brand new mech. But Citizens looking very much in control right now, just using enough ultimates in each fight that they come out on top. But now they got to deal with the rallies on both sides.
Yeah, Diva Bomb going to be coming up from above. Purple taking out Juice Ice. That is a good opening for the defensive team. It will be at the life of Default, though. However, Rory also going to be falling. Camboyo really using the speed to get the Citizens position to push once again into Nevermore spawn.
And now Nevermore in dire straits here, as if they want to keep this payload moving, they've got to do it here and now. They're going to have one more fight to do it. They've got the Shatter. Rory approaching that Graviton Surge, so they do have the tools in the belt to make this happen.
Certainly will be. It will be on these ults. I imagine we're going to be seeing Purple take a little bit of a forward position, deciding to draw back. It will be Luckbox getting pretty far deep into the team. Rory going to be taking a little nap onto cart. Salieri going to go for the Earth Shatter, but gets shield bashed out of it. Block, however, coming through for Juice Ice. You got to think that that's going to be pretty all right. Juice Ice getting anti-nated as the Transcendence comes out is dangerously low. The Graviton now coming out from Default. That will put the remaining members left standing for Nevermore in right onto the cart. Diva Bomb coming out, going to be cleaning up, and that means that the hold will come through for the side of Citizens.
Tony has to break out the Transcendence there before the Graviton Surge came out from Default, and even with it, because their main tank was unable to be healed, they can't push forward. Once the Grav comes in, it's all over for Nevermore. They do manage to push almost to the end here on Hollywood, so by no means a terrible attack round for them. They do get a considerable distance here on the payload and have given themselves a shot here in Hollywood.
Yeah, that was very interesting considering how long Citizens stayed on that, I'd say, unconventional comp with the Mei and Torbjorn.
No, for sure. You would not have expected them to stick with that through point B. Usually that is kind of a point A special where the bunker works really well when you've got a static objective to work with, but not so great on a payload. But they make it work for them and buy enough time that they can lock it down on point C, stop Nevermore from getting that third objective. And now they once again have given themselves a very solid win condition here on Hollywood.
Yeah, it certainly will be up to them to make it the distance. As Cake said, going the distance is certainly going to be what this team is looking for. Going to be going up against a standard triple comp, however, with the Ryan and the Zenyatta.
5, 4, 3.
For sure, and they can are they actually going to roll out with this on the attack? I like to see this. This is, you know, we are seeing them imitate a style that has been successful in Europe and now seems to have kind of made its way across the pond, at least with Citizens here, as they are going to be continuing to run this May, the Torbjorn.
Yeah, the aggression really coming through. Juice is just going to be trying to push through that Orisa shield. However, on the other side of the street, we do see Purple freezing and shooting icicles into the brains of all the opposing team. And it's looking like the contest is going to be coming through. Vanguard only wants to stand on the point. Now the attacker's going to get some progress.
That was brilliantly executed by Citizens. They bait Nevermore into charging through that choke point where Camboyo lands the massive biotic grenade, secures the kills on the luck box, makes Juice Eyes have to completely back off and eventually give his life. So Nevermore now have a long road ahead of them if they want to make this defense happen.
Yeah, they certainly do. Purple going to be pushing ahead, just sectioning off everybody in that small hallway. Perhaps a misplay coming through from the side of Nevermore to be confined into such a small area. The wall coming out going to be separating the Brig and the Zenyatta. And speaking of Zenyatta, we will see Rack Attack pop that Transcendence. Purple taking down a few members of the defending team, and it looks like the cart will get rolling here once again.
Nevermore just really struggling to deal with this. They're not even really forcing ultimates out of the side of Citizens. Rack Attack uses the Transcendence, but you know, more aggressively than reactively, and now they have this payload moving at such an incredible clip. Nevermore need to find some answers here. They probably need to get aggressive and get onto this Orisa.
Yeah, it certainly does seem to be the case. We're going to be seeing Juice Ice take the head. However, there will be and run right into an Orisa Supercharger taken down very quickly, as well as the turret. The May Blizzard coming out as well. However, Tony going to be Johnny on the spot with that Transcendence. Kills going back and forth. However, it will be man advantage this time for Vanguard, excuse me. Essel going to be taking a quick nap. Rack Attack trying to take out the Baby Diva, not going to be quite successful in that. But we're seeing now a little bit of a scrap onto the point. Default and Salieri just trying their best to hold on. Be able to.
Yeah, they tried to fight that one back with the nano whole hog there for Default, but it doesn't quite do enough work, and they had lost too many members early on to the Graviton Surge and the other ultimates coming out from Nevermore. They do regain control of the cart here on the defense, and now they set to the task of whittling away this incredible time bank that Citizens have bought themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of swaps going to be coming through from Citizens. Rack Attack, one of the only one with an ult coming online. Earthshatter coming out, going to be catching out Default and Purple ahead of the Time Shield from Salieri. Perhaps weren't expecting Juice Ice to be popping that. However, the aggression does not come through from the side of Nevermore. It's going to be coming through from the side of Citizens, getting very aggressive, and because of that, going to be cleaning up right now. Camboyo taking down the main tank for the side of Nevermore, and with that, they're going to get some progress.
It was a great shatter from Juice Eyes, but they aren't there to really follow it up. Salieri just able to use his shield. They can't even force out Rack Attack's Transcendence. He saves it for them to go aggressive, and now Nevermore trying to push back in with a rally.
Yeah, Nevermore trying to get some contest onto the card to grab coming out from Rory. Tony, even before the Diva Bomb hits, numbers being taken out, and with a sudden surge of force massively coming through for Nevermore.
Certainly, and they are going to be incredibly happy with that fight. They could have held on to the self-destruct for sure, but otherwise, pretty ultimate efficient there. Only need the rally and the grab to really get the job done, so they get to hang on, or at least very much get very close to these two support ultimates for this next defensive effort.
Yeah, it looks like Citizens might be taking the more roundabout way, going around the saloon. In fact, it will be Salieri trying to come from the third point spawn. A long timing Earthshatter coming down. Juice Ice going to be the only one caught out and punished because of it. In response, Tony going to be popping that Transcendence. Rack Attack going to be having Transcendence online and activating it right immediately as soon as available. Gamboyo taking out Essel. Now the kills are starting to go in for Citizens. It's looking good for them. It is going to be just Vanguard on the point, but they will get demeched and killed immediately.
And if you're Juice Ice, you really can't get caught out like that. The Earthshatter was up in the air from Salieri for so long. It was incredibly telegraphed. and it still manages to take down the Reinhardt for Nevermore. Opens up that fight. He tries to unleash a shatter of his own, but gets absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Default going to be throwing in that grab, and because of that, it looks like stabilization will be coming in from the side of Citizens, although it's not coming in on the cart. There still will be progress brought in from Nevermore.
And Nevermore going to be able to get back in here for at least one more really good contest, maybe two if they can get their butts out there and get it quick. And you know, they do at the very least force out that grab. So one of the big tools gone for Citizens. Nevermore can definitely make this happen. They throw out the grab of their own.
Yeah, Earth Shatter coming out, not going to be landing anything. Both Diva Bombs finding Null. Juice Ice taking a Minecraft. That's going to be the only kill we're seeing out of the gates. Purple getting DMEC from Rari. And it's looking like the holdback is going to be from the side of Citizen.
Yeah, they're going to have to retreat for a little while, but still 2 minutes to work with for this last section of Hollywood. They remain in a great spot, but they did, use a little bit more than they should have in that fight. Camboyo giving up the Sound Bear, but they will be coming back with quite a few ultimates nearly online.
Yeah, it will be a tough defense here. We're going to be seeing Salieri taking it to the head. The shield of Juice Ice getting absolutely torn up. Salieri going for a very bold charge, taking down Juice Ice, not from the charge, but from a few hammer swings. In response, Tony going to be bringing down the Transcendence. However, 3 members from the side of Nevermore getting knocked down because of the lack of shield. And now the kills going heavily in favor of the Citizens. And it's looking like they're going to take it.
Yeah, and that shatter from Salieri seals their fate with Juice Ice out of the fight yet again. There's nothing to stop them, and not only does it put them on their backs and secure the kills for Citizens, it also protects his teammates caught up in the Graviton Surge. Makes the final fight pretty simple for them as they close it out on Hollywood and put themselves on match point.
Yeah, certainly a good spot to be for Citizens. And once again, we have to go back to the map ban and selection phase. Shy Guy, based on what we've seen here, do you think there's going to be any particular standout maps that the teams will want to avoid or select?
Based on what we've seen, not necessarily, because right now, the problem if you are Nevermore is it seems if Citizens are running DPS comps, they destroy you like they did on Hanamura. If they're running whatever the Clockwork Vendetta comp, the Orisa May Torbjorn stuff, they do surprisingly well, and even their GOAT seems to be at least on par with yours, if not kind of outclassing you there as well. So I don't know what the solution is in terms of what kind of map you want to be going for if you are Nevermore.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those worst of all situations. In terms of just, I like watching it. I kind of want to see Eichenwald. I like Eichenwald as a map. I think it has a lot of potential for a bunch of different kind of play styles to come through. Of course, we can see the bunker. We can see, a very Rhine heavy. We can see a little bit of dive come through every once in a while. But yeah, I completely agree with you. It's definitely hard to kind of anticipate what the call is here for Nevermore.
Yeah. I think the most common map we've had banned in the entire event so far is probably Paris, so would not be surprised to see something like that coming out. But it's definitely hard to say without really knowing these teams' preferences. It's a lot of times I think it's a lot easier to speculate on hero bans and what that might mean, but even there I'm still kind of lost as to what Nevermore could do to turn this one around.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like a tough spot. Had a little bit of server issues here, had to close down, so it looked like we are still in the ban phase. It's going to be on to Citizens to ban the next map. So luckily luckily for them, they're not gonna have to go up against their worst or second worst map.
Yeah, they already, like we said earlier, they already banned out Junkertown, so maybe they don't want to play the escort maps. They want to ban Junkertown again. Sorry guys, it's already banned. I have my problems with that map as well, but we don't have to ban it twice. You're not Michael Scott stuck in a room and putting 2 bullets in Toby's head.
yeah, it might be a little bit overkill. But that being said, the ban is then going to be coming through from Dorado. Looks like Citizens not favoring those escort maps.
Yeah, that's kind of understandable. I mean, if you just have a map type that your team doesn't perform well on, go ahead, ban all of those maps, and we don't really have to worry about it, because I believe those are our 2 escort maps in the pool. I don't think we have another one. So where we're just not going to be seeing escort for the rest of the series, we are obviously not going to be seeing a hybrid map again back to back. So we are headed to Lijiang Tower. That's where Nevermore will make their stand.
Yeah, Lijiang's one of the more popular maps in the tournament, it seems. It feels like 50% of the time we're starting on Lijiang. So not too surprising to see it come up in rotation. It seems like the control maps are a little bit more favored. With the exception of Ilios. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of Ilios, but with the variety of different play styles it has there, and each one kind of being favored on a different sub-map, I'm not too surprised.
Certainly, and now we move on to the hero saves and bans. Citizens going to be making sure that the D.Va is still on the field. And again, the Mercy ban coming out from Nevermore.
Yeah, Nevermore still very hesitant for that Mercy, but I don't think Citizens are going to be too bothered by it. I think that Nevermore might have to keep an eye on the Mei, especially if we go to that command center sub-map. That's definitely going to be something that Citizens will probably take full advantage of if Hollywood is any indicator.
Certainly, yeah. They definitely like to change things up. I'm incredibly impressed by the amount of variety that Citizen shows in their compositions. They seem entirely comfortable playing absolutely anything. I mean, we have seen the 4 DPS licks. We saw them do really well in GOATS. We've seen them break out some kind of wackier stuff, some really off the wall picks that you don't see a lot that really seem to catch Nevermore off guard. But as you mentioned, we are starting off on Control Center, so the Mei very much in play.
Yeah, indeed. I think the one thing we haven't seen come through from the side of Citizen, or come through really on either side, I guess, when I think too much about it, is that bunker style comp. I don't think we saw it on Hanamura, and I'm fairly confident that we didn't see it too long, if at all, on Hollywood as well.
No, I mean, we saw I would not call it a bunker composition in terms of, just because the Orisa was run. So no, we definitely haven't seen any of that so far in this series, which I think teams are moving away from it just a little bit, but you still see it on certain maps. I just don't think any of ours have been particularly, conducive to that style of play. And, look at Citizens. They are going to be going back to this, I still don't know what to call this other than the Clockwork Vendetta comp. They coined it, but that just seems so unimagined.
Indeed. And Camboyo going to be on the Ana this time instead of Rack Attack. Not going to be seeing maybe as many fat anti-nades. Rory going to be taking down the turret from Einkro right off the bat. Going to be opening up a little bit of relief for the side of Nevermore. However, Salieri going to be the first one killed, and right now it's looking like kills are coming through from Nevermore. Tony going to be the only one falling on their side, and with that, it's going to be a relatively quick turn in favor of Nevermore.
That was a very smart rotation from Nevermore to go up around the high ground and come in kind of from behind Citizens there, really close the gap and not give Purple a great opportunity to use that Mei wall, which is so essential. They stay together as a group, and now they have started to build up the control, and they've forced some swaps from Citizens.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing these swaps come out. The Mei wall still going up, trying to get the section off. Not going to be working. Juice Ice backing off. The rally now going to be coming out from Essel, who gets brought dangerously low, eventually killed by Rack Attack. But Salieri will be traded for it. And now, once again, the kills going in favor of Nevermore. And Juice Ice going for the charge, not finding anything with it. but it's going to be Purple who gets sectioned off a little bit here in this ice form, using that wall to escape. Now we're seeing Tony bring out the Transcendence, and the Earth Shatter coming in from Juice Ice going to actually be stopped by the freeze. And with that, it's looking like the kills and possession are going to go in favor of Citizens.
You've got to be so careful when you're playing against this Mei. If you allow yourself to be frozen up, you can be deleted instantly. That's exactly what happens to Rory. He over chases a little bit, trying to secure the kill onto Purple, and gets punished for it. And now this Mei is set up exactly where it wants to be, at the choke.
Yeah, a big grab coming through from Default, going to be capturing a lot of people. However, are you going to be the only gets killed because of it? The charge coming through from Juice Ice just to get back to spawn a little bit quicker. It's going to be a regroup.
Certainly, they do have to commit the grab for just one kill, so not exactly a ton of ult charge coming out of that fight for Citizens, so they're going to have to give up some ground.
Yeah, and the sound barriers coming through from both sides. Rory now going to be testing their hand with a grab, but Vanguard going to be getting a double kill off the back of that Diva Bomb. That might be crucial. Now Citizens on the back foot. Juice Ice going to be pushing into Oncro, just peeling apart the rest of the supports that are standing. It will just be Camboyo trying to stall out for a little bit. Not going to be lasting too long.
Isol gets the big stun there on to Salieri in the middle of that Graviton Surge. No value from the shield of the Reinhardt, because it's not up when you're stunned. So the bomb able to secure the kills even through the Transcendence from Rack Attack. And now Nevermore in control of the choke once again.
Yeah, the rally going to be coming out to initiate with Essel. Another both falling to their backs. And it will be Salieri, the only one who's going to fall from it. But the kills go in short order from the rest of the side of Nevermore. Rory going to be taken out by their own right clicks.
Certainly. So now Nevermore need to make a decision. You could try to hold up very close to the choke, keep Citizens from getting to the point in the first place. But you don't have your Zarya, so you're at a man disadvantage if you do that. They're going to fall back and take a full 6v6 fight here.
Yeah, it's going to be Luckbox ferrying the Zarya back onto point. It will come in back just in time to see Juice Eyes brawling it out with Salieri. Default on that Doomfist, trying to get a little bit of damage, not finding any of those crucial picks. Transcendence going to be coming out from Rack Attack. However, the Diva Bomb as well from Vanguard. Purple taking out Vanguard while out of the mech. The kills are going back and forth, but they seem to be going in favor of Nevermore. Diva Bomb coming out from Purple. Gonna be finding Essel, but not quite enough. Perhaps the Diva going to be focused down relatively quickly, I imagine. And indeed, but the Hammond comes back onto point. Salieri on the Hammond, going to be able to buy a little bit of stall despite Purple finally dropping. And that Hammond just being an absolute pain. It gives the Doomfist enough time, played by Default, to get there. Nobody's going to be on point, though.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough ask there for Citizens to turn that one around. They needed the Doomfist to come up big with kills, and unfortunately they just step off the point for a little bit too long. The overtime disappears in a flash. And for the first time this series, Nevermore really showing some life here on Lijiang Tower. Looking much, much stronger there, being able to deal with the Mei this time around.
Yeah, I think Nevermore is going to feel a little bit of a surge of confidence after that. Looking at their comps, it's going to be a little bit more of the same.
Certainly, this has been their tried and true. This is what they rely on. This is their comfort zone for sure. It seems like they don't want to get away from this, but this time Citizens just going to go straight for the mirror match. They are done trying to get cute with their compositions.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to see both teams get right on the point, get right into the action. Big fire strike coming out from Salieri, going to be building up tons of charge. Purple getting a nice boop onto the team. Going to be a lot of kills going in favor for Citizens because of that.
And that's just the decision to wrap around the back comes back to haunt Nevermore. They go towards the outside, and with the most recent changes to how those displacement abilities works, Camboyo and Purple combined. The boot and then the boosters from the Diva just send Nevermore flying in that push immediately.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Purple going to be coming in behind the enemy team from that high ground. Salieri going for the Earth Shatter, going to be taking down two. However, the kills going back and forth right now. Salieri himself going to be dropping both the loot fields for the sides as well, going to be falling in a relatively quick fashion. Rack Attack does have that Transcendence. Debatable whether they'll decide to use it for this push as we see Encro's rally finally come to a close. The bash on the Juice Ice going to be locking him into place, meaning he can get burned down by Purple. And once again, we're going to be seeing the hold come from Citizens.
Yeah, and without Rory there in that fight, even though it was a 4v4, Nevermore didn't have the damage to really push forward. The Zarya there from default on the other side is able to burn Juice Ice down, just melt him immediately as soon as that stun comes through.
Yeah, and now we are going to be seeing the side of Nevermore take the high ground. The sound barrier coming out from Luckbox going to be hitting all 6, giving them the little bit of bolstering that they need. Not a lot of kills coming through because of it, though. Default getting brought dangerously low before the Transcendence comes out. 3 getting hit by the Earth Shatter from Juice Ice. A moderate slam, not going to be followed up too aggressively on Luckbox, getting stunned and then killed by Rack Attack. That is a little bit brutal. Salieri getting stunned, however, not going to be able to make it directly onto point. The Diva Bomb coming out from Purple. Will it find anybody? It does find Tony, in fact, and that will be a continued hold from Citizens.
And now that Citizens are, just mirroring what Nevermore is doing, they are taking them to task right now, just absolutely dominating this matchup. This is Nevermore's chance to flip it back, though. Just the rally, maybe Camboyo's sound barrier on the other side.
Yeah, Tony getting brought dangerously low. The grab coming out. Rack Attack down Juice Ice might be a crucial kill. However, it looks like the defense will continue to hold strong from Citizens. Vanguard going only one on point along with Luckbox on that Lucio. Not going to quite be enough here, it seems.
Yeah, they had to split up. Luckbox had to go to the point to trigger the overtime, and the remaining members coming through the choke just get absolutely decimated by the Citizens as they take a clean 100-0 there on Night Market. Now we're headed to Gardens to decide it all.
Yeah, Gardens is perhaps the map I'm most excited to see from these two teams. We talk about Citizens playing a little less of a triple comp, and I think Gardens really kind of enables those DPS. I'm very excited.
Certainly, but after what we just saw, if I'm them, I don't feel any need to step away from that 3-3 composition whatsoever. Right now, they're going to go back to this Clockwork Vendetta composition. The Arisame Torbjorn is the comp of choice for the contender, or for the Citizens. And Vanguard picking up the Mei is that we actually get the duel of these two heroes.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. Ankro throwing down that turret right onto the point. Vanguard going to be taken down early from the Mei wall, coming out from Purple. Ice beats ice, it seems. Rag Attack taking down Essel, and now the kills just easily going for Citizens right now. And Rory going to be taking down Camboyo, not going to be enough.
Nope, definitely not, especially as Default lands another hook. He starts the fight with a hook on to Vanguard and then closes it with one onto Rory. And now Vanguard gives up on the Mei duel immediately. They go over to the Moira pick here. Is an interesting idea. Gives you a little bit more healing, a little bit more sustainability than the Zenyatta would.
Yeah, and Vanguard on this Diva does provide an opportunity for the Matrix to come through should anybody get hooked, but it is going to be the side of Nevermore trying to push through point on the interior side. The wall coming up, not going to be catching anybody, and we will see now Nevermore hopping onto point. The Molten Core going to be popped, hitting the entirety of the outside half of the point. Purple going to be taking down a lot of enemies with the right clicks, and with that, we have another hold coming through from Citizens.
Yeah, and the supercharger from Salieri allows them to just kind of collapse in onto Nevermore as soon as they pushed onto the point. And now we're still gonna have 4 ultimates on the side of Citizens, and Nevermore just now working up to their first round of ults.
Yeah, they're playing in a very dangerous spot
no.
as Juice Ice gets hooked. That's exactly the opposite of what you wanted to have. And now we have a couple of players separated. It's going to be quick cleanup, though, coming through again from Citizens.
Not like this. Not like this. Nevermore on the verge of going down to the lower bracket. Not with a bang, but kind of with a whimper here on Lijiang Tower. It started so well for them, but now they are falling apart in the face of this composition. Another hook!
Default getting some mad advantage with these environments from the hook. Going to be having that whole hog to zone as well. The Coalescence, as well as the rally coming online. The sound barrier going to be keeping everybody up. The Nano Boost actually going on to the ulting hog as well. Going to be yoinking the Reinhardt into the liquid hot magma. D.Va going to be one of the last members standing. And it will be Rory going to be popping out that grab just to try to lock down Citizens in place. Not going to be happening though, and it looks like the overtime clock's going to tick down. Citizens going to take this.
With the clock going away, so too do Nevermore's chances of turning the series around. Citizens get the 3-0 win here in pretty dominant fashion.
Yeah, I would say Citizens looked very strong in this round. I don't think there was a single point where it kind of looked like they might lose this. We did see a little bit of a shake-up in the first map here, but overall still looked pretty good. Citizens, you know, very skilled, but I think that we're starting to see the skill differential between them and yes.
That's definitely true. Nevermore put up a solid fight on all three maps, giving them, you know, they took both points on Hanamura, which in and of itself is a sign that they were able to make things happen. They took a point on Lijiang Tower. They were doing their best, but Citizens just too flexible and too polished on all of these different compositions. Threw some unusual looks at Nevermore and really, in my mind, kind of threw them off their game. A well-earned place in the semifinals of this tournament. They're now just one win away from the grand finals.
Yeah, it is so close. I imagine they can taste it. Don't forget to vote on that Twitch MVP poll down there in the Twitch chat. But while you guys are doing that, we do have a little bit of an outro interview coming through. Going to be one of the members of Citizens. Forget me if I'm butchering your name. Ankro?
Yeah, Ankro. You got it right.
Okay, perfect. How you feeling after that?
Pretty good. You know, not to be toxic, but it wasn't the hardest of games. So we got to try out some comps other than goats, which was
so was it your plan coming into this series to be running that, you know, Arisa May Torbjorn comp, or was that just something that you kind of decided, hey, we're in a pretty comfortable spot and we can go kind of mess around a little bit?
Well, it's Clockwork Vendettas comp,
Right.
The contenders and EU or whatever, but we had permission from our coach apparently to play it. So we just took advantage and played it. So yeah, we did have a plan to play it. We never practiced it, but we played it.
Well, what better time to practice it than in the action, I guess.
Yeah, for our first time, that was a pretty good showing on it.
Now, Ankro, what is your so we all know that there tends to be kind of a you know, if you're a DPS, you go to these types of characters in the triple. What is your preferred character? If you had to pick one character to main on ladder or in quick play or whatever, who are you playing just to have fun with?
Torb.
The Torb?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your reasoning behind that, my friend?
It's very strong, and even if I can't aim one day, you know, I'm just botting out. There's still a turret that auto aims, so.
Yeah, I can definitely see the advantages of that in the lower tiers. Nobody can aim, so Torb always a good pick. But I mean, you know, you're certainly not in the lower tiers as we're seeing from this performance here.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, have you guys done a whole lot of research onto the prior teams, or do you guys plan on doing any research moving forward, or is it just kind of one of those things going into it kind of blind?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm not even on the team.
Well, it's you still get to be the representative. You get to come in here, represent the side of Citizens. So, you know, you get a little bit of the fame, prestige. And who knows? You might be voted Twitch MVP. I mean, there were a lot of good players aside from yourself, Ankro.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think really kind of stood out on your side?
I think oh god, I don't know how to say his own name. Salieri. Yeah, I think he's really good, and I think Purple. I think everyone's really good, but I think Purple and Salieri played really well.
Yeah, me and Shy Guy were talking for a little bit, at least on Hanamura. It was, I think, Rack Attack. We noticed some huge anti-nades coming out from that player. We were both really impressed.
Yeah, it was just crazy performances from up and down the roster for this team. So the MVP vote, I imagine, is probably going to be pretty close this time around. Hard decision to make there.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a lot of chances for everybody on the team to shine. And I believe we're just kind of waiting on the results from the MVP vote to come in. But Eincro, do you have any last words for us before we go ahead and announce the MVP?
It was fun. Thank you for hosting this.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here and joining us. And it looks like the viewers' MVP is actually going to be Esel. I always have issues when it comes to names I'm not too familiar with, but Esel on the side of Nevermore. So congratulations to that player as well. Congratulations to Citizens for taking it. And thank you guys for watching at home. We always love having you guys tune in and show your support to these teams. That is going to be wrapping up our festivities for this match. We will be back in about 50 minutes on the hour, so be sure and tune in then for Baranow versus Metamorphic. For your casting pleasure, I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitch at Sir Waltham, Twitter, Sir Waltham Gaming.
And I've been Shy Guy. You can find me on Twitter at ShyGuyOW. Keep track of all my comings and goings. So appreciate you all joining us, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
Have a great time.